Well, hey gang, it's John with Roads and Relics. We're checking out a little Creekside history today. It's called Creekside because we're looking at Monroe Creek. The name Monroe is kind of synonymous with Colonial Beach. You see it everywhere. There's the Monroe Bay Marina, Monroe Bay Campground, Monroe Bay Circle, etc. There's a lot of stuff in the area with the name Monroe. And all of that has to do with this guy right here. This is the James Monroe birthplace and boyhood home. That's right, our 5th president of the United States was born less than a mile from Colonial Beach. How about that? Right here at our home base. We got history on our doorstep. Pretty cool. Now, we would normally like to take a back road to go to our destination, but because it's so close, we're going to kind of take the back way instead. We're going to shoot right on up 205 here and go on around, and just outside of town here, right about here. Let me zoom in on this for you. There's a road called Cedar Hill, and Cedar Hill Road looks like that. Isn't that cool? So we'll be taking Cedar Hill Road kind of a long way around. Let me flip that around there. Cedar Hill comes through here, connects up to Pomona Road, and then Pomona Road comes out on Route 205 right there. Okay, and then from there, it's just a short hop down to the birthplace site. I'll zoom in on that for you here. Hopefully it will cooperate. Alright, we got the marker there. There's a monument. There's a bunch of information boards back here. And way back in the woods is a replica of the home. There's also some walking trails and a bunch of other stuff we're going to be checking out. So a very, very good destination. Now, after we take the back road to get to the place that we're going to be exploring, we always like to cap the day off with a scenic view. And we're just going to head right back into town here and head all the way down to the point. Let me show you here. Probably right about here. Yeah, that's about right. And we'll park right in here and get a beautiful scenic view of Monroe Bay to cap the day off. Sounds like a pretty awesome plan to me, guys. I'll go ahead and get the van all packed up. In the meantime, let's make a recon flight. And I'll be right back. Alrighty gang, got the van all packed up and we're on the road. We're headed up Route 205. Gonna make that turn on Cedar Hill Road, take that scenic back road. Okay, we're on our way. really, really pretty day today. 51 degrees. Wow. Got some blue skies and a lot of clouds. Looking real nice. Kind of nice to have a local adventure. Just one right there on our doorstep. Pretty amazing. Alright guys, we're making our turn onto Cedar Hill Road. Wow, what a nice road. And that was a hawk that just flew in front of us. Cool beans. Nice road. Going past a big farm over here on the left-hand side. I'm thinking that might be part of Cedar Hill Farms up here. This road is very scenic, but it's not real long. And we got a sharp turn coming up here. Very nice. Wow, look how this opened up. My goodness. Very, very nice. Getting a little curve here. Okie dokie. Right there on our left-hand side is Cedar Hill Farms. Very cool. And not too much further up here, and we're going to connect to Pomona Road. Very, very nice. Alrighty guys, it was So short and sweet. What did you think of Cedar Hill Road? Pretty awesome, huh? Okay, from here we'll make this left-hand turn onto Pomona Road and we'll reconnect to Route 205. Nice day for a drive in the countryside. Okay, we got another little sharp turn here. Not too sharp. There we go. Alrighty guys, we're on Route 205. We'll make this left-hand turn. And it's a real short hop down to James Monroe Birthplace. Here we go. Alrighty. There's a sign right up here on the right that says Monroe Hall. Alright, I see the historical marker. And here we are. Park right here. Alrighty guys, we have arrived. Okay guys, we're here at the James Monroe Birthplace, boyhood home. Go over here and check out these information boards first. Alright, we got James Monroe Boyhood Home. Road to Revolution. Wow. Very cool. President James Monroe was born here on April 28th, 1758. My goodness. And they have a drawing of what the original house might have looked like there. There's the man himself. There's his portrait. Very, very cool. Right, we got a flag here that was dedicated 1818 Old Glory, donated by the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Leedstown Resolution Chapter in King George. Very, very cool. Check it out, guys. Look at the stars on the flag. Let's see if I can catch that. There we go. Alright. It looks like we got a big thing here. This is James Monroe, 1758 to 1831. Soldier, patriot, statesman. This marks the birthplace of James Monroe, April 28, 1758, Westmoreland County, Virginia. He attended the College of William and Mary, officer, Continental Army, American Revolution, married Elizabeth Courtwright in 1786, U.S. Senator, Minister, Plenipotentiary to France and then to England, represented the United States in Spain, Governor of Virginia, signed the Treaty for Louisiana Purchase, negotiated to acquire Florida, Secretary of State, Secretary of War, 5th U.S. President, 1817 to 1825, promulgated Monroe Doctrine, 1823, and get this, guys, he died on July 4th, 1831, and he's buried Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia. Wow, very, very cool. Alright, this board talks about the James Monroe, Virginia legacy. And there's a map there. You can see that. And it says, James Monroe public service career, the most extensive of any president in the United States. Took him far from his Westmoreland County birthplace. Check that out. Very, very cool. And this one is about the Northern Neck. And as the map shows, that's the region of Virginia that we're in here. Alrighty, it says the birthplace of a nation, lying between the Rappahannock and Potomac rivers. The Northern Neck provided fertile land that supported production of tobacco, the first great cash crop of the Virginia colony. That's pretty cool. Alright guys, let's go over here and check out this monument. See something on the bottom there. Let's see if I can get that. It says, oh, it's just a dedication. Dedicated November 21st, 1993. And there's a plaque here. Let me read that. Memorial presented by the Northern Neck Ladies Auxiliary to veterans of foreign wars, post 7167 in Warsaw. Other contributors: Northern Neck VFW post 7167, William I. Cooper Memorial, VFW post 10574, and the Ladies Auxiliary to VFW post 10574, Colonial Beach. And here's the inscription on the stone. It reads, Birthplace of James Monroe, April 28th, 1758 to July 4th, 1831. 5th President of the United States, 1817 to 1825. Governor of Virginia. Proclaimed the Monroe Doctrine. Declares the Americas no longer subject to European colonization. Wow. Cool beans. Alright, we got JP's history marker JP6, Birthplace of Monroe. In this vicinity stood the Monroe home, where James Monroe, 5th President of the United States, was born. April 28, 1758. His father was Spence Monroe, and his mother, Elizabeth Jones. He left home at the age of 16 to enter William and Mary College, and left college to enter the Army. Alright guys, we got another information board here over by the Visitor Center, and this one is Interpreting the Birthplace Site. And it reads, the James Monroe Birthplace is a nationally significant historic site attributed to our nation's 5th President, James Monroe. The property's significance dates to the inheritance and active agriculture employ of these lands by Monroe's father, Spence Monroe. Pretty cool. All right, let's go walk the path. All right, what do we got here? We got some stones. These big stones. And a big path here. Oh, I think I see. This is a timeline. Okay, we got starting at 1776. The inscription in the concrete reads, Revolutionary Idealist. Though young at the commencement of our revolution, I took part in it, and its principles have invariably guided me since. James Monroe wrote that in 1817. Cool. All right, let's go down to the next stones. I don't know if you can see this, but the concrete pathway here is filled with oyster shells. Pretty cool. All right, guys, this is 1782. And the stone says, Service to the Commonwealth. And it reads, Our country may be likened to a new house. We lack many things, but we possess the most precious of all, liberty. Pretty cool. That was a quote from James Monroe circa 1801. Very cool. This one is 1794. Okay. This one reads, Statesmen at home and abroad. It says, as a friend of humanity, I rejoice in the French Revolution. But as a citizen of America, the gratification is greatly increased. That was a quote from James Monroe in 1791. All right, guys, we're coming up on 1804. There's our date, 1804. Okay, the concrete reads, Prelude to the Presidency. It reads, it is only when the people become ignorant and corrupt, when they degenerate into a populace, that they are incapable of exercising their sovereignty. He said that in 1801. All right, guys, we're looking at date number 8, year 1816. This is stone number 6. It's the era of good feelings. It says, I should be destitute of feeling if I was not deeply affected by the strong proof which my fellow citizens have given me of their confidence in calling me to the high office whose functions I am about to assume. That was in 1817 when he was elected president. Wow. Alrighty, guys, this is 1823. Alright, this one is the Monroe Doctrine. It says, the occasion has been judged proper for asserting as principle in which the rights and interests of the United States are involved, that the American continents, by the free and independent condition which they have assumed and maintain, are henceforth not to be considered as subjects for future colonization by European powers. Pretty cool. Alright, guys, there's a little bridge here, a little land bridge. We'll cross over this. Pretty cool. Alright, coming up on the last one here, it looks like. Yeah, it's the last one, guys. Okay, it says, well, first the date, that's 1831. This says, James Monroe Legacy. He has in every instance maintained the reputation of a brave, active, and sensible officer. George Washington said that about him in 1779. Turn his soul wrong side outwards, and there is not a speck on it. Thomas Jefferson said that about him in 1787. There have been few more zealous, infatigable, or useful servants of the public than James Monroe. Someone named Francis Walker Gilmer said that about him in 1815. A warrior to bleed, a statesman to counsel, a chief to direct and govern. John Quincy Adams, eulogy for James Monroe, 25th of August, 1931. All right, and this one is Journey's End. It says, having commenced my service in early youth and continued it since with few and short intervals, I have witnessed the great difficulties to which our Union has been exposed, and admired the virtue and intelligence with which they have been surmounted. James Monroe said that in 1824. All right, and then we got a marker or a information board here. There you go. All right, this is one about Monroe Creek. There we go. There's our Creekside history, guys. Monroe Creek is one of the many tributaries of the Potomac River, contributing to the form and character of Virginia's northern neck. And it shows on the map there with the creek, the oyster shells. Very, very, very cool. Alrighty, gang, that was the walk through history. Pretty cool. I'm going to say cool beans. Yes, indeed. Alrighty, guys, we didn't get to go into the visitor center there. But we did get to walk the history path, the walk through history, which is very cool. Cool beans. Alrighty, guys, we got to walk the path of history for James Monroe. That was pretty good. It was long, but it was very, very informative. Very well done. All right, from here we're going to head on down to the point and catch a scenic view of Monroe Bay. Better put my belt on. Safety first. All right, here we go. We are exiting James Monroe Birthplace. All right, on to Colonial Beach. Welcome to Colonial Beach, Virginia. Check it out, guys. We're turning left on Monroe Bay Avenue. Cool beans. Awful lot of stuff on that house back there. A skeleton and a Santa Claus. He's got his holidays mixed up there. Some really, really pretty homes in Colonial Beach. Check out this view of the water here. Wow. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Wow, that's a pretty house. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm gonna try to squeeze in here. Wow, what a view of Monroe Bay, huh? Well, gang, we had a little adventure. I got to check out Cedar Hill Road. That was very nice. A little short country road, but very, very nice. Love the farm fields out there by Cedar Hill Farms. And I like the way the road kind of, winds through the woods there. Connected back up to Pomona. Brought us out to 205. Short hop down to Monroe, Birthplace. We checked out the house, the markers, all that stuff. And we walked the history trail, that path with all those big stone markers. That was very well done. Very, very well done. 5th President of the United States of America was born right here, a mile from here. Very cool. And now we are down here on the bay, Monroe Bay, taking in a view of the water. It's so pretty. Such a nice day. I always enjoy a view of the water. It's Very calming. I wanted to say, guys, if you like what I'm doing and you'd like to support the channel, all I ask is that you invite a friend to watch. Just awesome.